It is a brand new month. That is all I can say. Good morning, 1st of November. It is Mahala Monday, and it is that magical time where you get to join us, of course. And as always, she's here, everybody.
Yes.
Rhoda.
Good morning, and welcome to Mahala Monday.
Hello.
Good morning. You know, it's a public holiday today, but you know what? Google and myself wanted to be here for you
Yeah,
guys.
people are doing this today, aren't
Oh,
they?
yeah, they're doing that. So, yeah.
We're
gonna do
and
that
we
later.
need to do it too.
Yeah, we're going later.
Which we will be shortly, though. But thank you so much for taking the time out and being with us today. And as always, of course, a very informative show. We're going to definitely paint you the picture and tell you exactly what it is we're talking about today. But also, we want you to be part of the show.
Oh, yeah.
So what you got to do is get in touch with us at Nickay Productions. You got the details at the bottom of your screen. Facebook, YouTube, looking forward to your questions, your comments. And oh boy, do we have a guest today.
Oh, yes, we do. And what an interesting guest, because, I mean, I've read up about him and, you know, wanting to find out more. And he's got quite a bit to tell us at the end of the day. Quite a big story as well, especially where he's come from and where he's at right now.
Yeah.
So quite exciting.
And you know what? It's funny you should say that, because I think of that, and I think that is kind of the Mahala Monday picture.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Isn't it?
Oh, yes. So it is really a case of giving you the information, or even just like in this case, it will be a mixture of education, social development. It's actually quite a bit.
It is quite
So it's
a
quite
bit.
broad, especially what we as Mahala Monday stand for. So, yeah, everything on a silver platter, information given to you.
And so remarkable about this, because this is somebody who's definitely applying themselves with the skill sets that they have, trying to make a difference in the immediate community and the broader extent to that. But not just the immediate community, also when it comes to businesses, any organization.
Yeah,
This is
broad.
definitely the person that you need to talk to. So with that kind of being said, let's kind of give you an intro, because now you kind of get a sense of where we're going. So let's hit it on the head here. We'll be talking today to Ridwan Aris. Now, he is the man behind ARP Transformation. And what they do is focus on development, education in different sectors in the community, but also for government organizations, businesses, small, medium enterprises. It doesn't matter. I actually want to ask him as well if they work with individuals. And I do think they do.
I do think it do as well, Google. Just reading up what we had, I'm 100% sure I think it does. But we can find out by Ridwan, and you can tell us a bit more.
Yeah, and there's a whole array of things that they do. So from sport to education, and it's just a vast list. So it's going to be really exciting. Get his thinking around this, and this is definitely a person in whose footsteps we should follow. Well, that is it. Now, Ridwan today is joining us via audio, so you will definitely be able to hear all the chat with us. So Ridwan, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Mahala Monday. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yourself, guys?
Lekker.
We're good.
I'm excited.
Listen, it is exciting to have you here, so thank you so much for joining us. So ARP Transformation, let's start off there. Just in a nutshell, quickly, when did this start?
Oh, it started off in 2010 when I arrived in Cape Town. So, yes, I had this idea, not to go too deep, but I was dwelling the streets of Cape Town, struggling to get somewhere. So I wrote this down on a piece of paper, and a lady called Esther Farson, who was my ex-principal, she looked at it and she said, you know what, my son, I think you got something going. And this individualized plan to help kids with learning disabilities, and I ran with it. And for me personally, after that, things just went on and on. Went overseas, came back. Yes, like it just went on, and we grew until now. And the pause from 2010 until today, I think, to be honest, God is great. Because I've met so many people, worked with so many people, all over the place. There's just one thing that some people hate me for it. I don't put my work out there. I try to keep it so small and intimate, and a bit shy, but I like to keep it down to earth.
Listen, you certainly don't sound shy, but let me ask you this. So 11 years, 11 years this has been going, that you've been doing this. So where do you come from? Because you said you were coming through to Cape Town, and so where do you come from?
I come from Worcester. I come from Worcester, all the way there in the Breda River. You will know people like Remark, who's on Pasella, Denver Ross, who played in some movies, etc. I grew up with these guys, so I grew up in the Fletcher, if you want to put it like that, the ghetto, if you want to put it like that.
And now, because a moment ago, and the reason I'm asking you that, so I must tell you this, because I was actually born in Worcester. Yeah, I was born there. Yeah, so my family comes from a wonderful town of Worcester. But let me ask you this: you said you came from Worcester. You were wandering the streets. So at the time when you were walking in Cape Town, you wrote these things down on a paper that you wanted to achieve. Were you working at the time?
Yes, but no, I have such a good history on school because I was suspended, almost lost my schooling career due to throwing a teacher with a brick. So I was a naughty boy. I was out of place. But there was one teacher who told me no. And Worcester, I told myself I need to go out there. And then another teacher found me and said, "You're gonna tell a good story." And
Radwan, let me just cut you there because I lost you at brick. So can you just repeat everything you said, because we lost a little bit of a connection. Could you just repeat all of that? So you brick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you were.
I was etc. Both in being a naughty boy. I just was naughty. So, and then through a teacher, I got expelled. And long story short, sent me to a psychologist, etc. And because it's difficult to grow up poor. You have these dreams, and sometimes it feels impossible because you only look the world on one side and not these other alternatives in terms of getting to your destination in terms of dreams. It was tough for me, really tough for me. But yet again, with the support of one teacher, Miss Miller, will never forget her, and my psychologist, Miss Van der Merwe, it's where I'm today. I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. That's a part of me that I always keep with me, especially when I talk to youngsters, because some kids think it's all hunky-dory when you made it or make it, and it's not. It's really a journey to walk in. And yes, this past 11 years have been awesome.
Listen, I like all of a sudden I like the word transformation in the name.
Now you understand where
now we understand.
Because I can kind of see it. Now, and I just want to ask you this on a personal level as well. And please forgive me for asking you this, but I want to ask you this. Did you, and also, we missed that old brick thing again. Maybe it's just the internet gods trying to keep the story secret, but be as it may. Let me ask you this. Would you consider yourself, because you said that, there was challenges as a youngster growing up, and whatever these challenges are, would you consider yourself as somebody that would be tagged or considered a troubled youth? Would you ever consider yourself that?
Externally, yes. Internally, a big battle. Because why? I'm going to repeat that again. Externally, yes, very naughty. But internally, I always fought with, there must be more towards life. Because sometimes, I will never forget it, when planes come across the flats, I will look up and say, wow, I wonder how it looks inside it. I wonder how things, and the kids laugh. Many of my friends laughed at me until I went overseas. In Dubai, that was for me a moment, because wow, I'm here after all of the struggles and after all I went through. Yes, but it was a tough one, really, to be honest. Growing up poor, scratching in bins, always waiting for the next door neighbors to give you some food. Sometimes and this is why last year I wrote a manuscript in terms of choices, in terms of how, when you're in a situation, you don't see the outcome. You don't see the outcome. And the biggest key, or for me, the biggest lesson is the choices you make. Even in the midst of when everything goes down, It's the choices you make. If you
Yeah.
really want it, then you need to sacrifice. So yeah, it's just a bit in a nutshell. Wow.
Listen,
I didn't know we're going this way.
I've got loads
I
of
didn't know we
questions
were
now
going to go
because
this way. Did you hear that one? We warned you. We warned you.
we did warn you, mate. This is I've got lots of questions now, and I know there's a string of comments that's going to pop through as well. But comments, oh fast, just wait. And I know you've got a I've wait. All right, so I just want to backtrack. All right, so just to recap of what you said. So you grew up in the Boland area, and it was it was tough. It was economical tough times, whatever social. It was tough as it can be. And I mean, we just picked up. You said you were scratching at bins, looking for people to give you food. So choices are limited. And you're wondering what it looks like in that house. You're starting to dream big. You go overseas, you do something. You pen a couple of things on a paper. One of your teachers tell you, that's brilliant. You can change. You can actually get people to start thinking differently by telling your story. When you put those things on paper, obviously your immediate mind is, I put these down as rules and guidelines for me in order to improve myself. At that stage, did you ever consider that this could be life-changing for other South Africans?
No, not at all. It looked so small. It looked really small. It was just the idea. I was like, this is what I want to do. And when I laid in front of people tend to look at you weird. It's like, we have never tried this. We have never done this. And this is why I take my head off for Mrs. Hester Farson. She was my ex-principal at the Untitled School with learners with special needs. And she told me, she said, you know what, run with this idea. Our youngsters need this. Our youngsters need this motivation. They need this. And then it started off small. I'm working with kids with learning disabilities, kids who sit in mental institutions, one-on-one, because now I can relate on the social level. Wow. And there was like a kick out of nowhere. Here in my stomach, I was like, this is what I want to do. And she gave me the platform to do. I've worked with kids all over the Western Cape, rich kids, poor.
Yes.
Are you there?
Kids, you name it. And then I started 16. Then she told me, you know what? It's time for you to go. I was like, man, how you mean to go? I'm working in a good space. She said it's time to fly. And that's where everything started. It was tough, but I'm here. I'm here. Wow. Still going.
Listen, this is... Let me be honest with you, because I know Rhoda is going to ask you a lot of questions, but let me just be honest with you, because I listened to your life story, and the realization is, because we get a lot of people, and I don't want to say fly by nights or anything like that, but we get a lot of people trying to motivate us and trying to pick us up. But there's a vast difference for somebody that has walked the road, turn things around, but not for themselves. That kind of just went, wait a minute, I've got a bigger duty here. I've got to help others, and that is what you do. And I just got to say, I mean, there's so many things: life skills, life coaching, education, sport. You touch on so many things, and you work with youngsters and on so many aspects on that, which we are going to get through. And it's just amazing hearing that story, Rhoda.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
I hate you guys now, man. I hate you guys.
You
guys are turning something now inside of me. I hate you guys big time.
Oh, you are coming into the web, sir.
We love you. How can you? We love you, Ridwan. We warned you before we started.
Yeah, I see now. It is. Now I see.
Ridwan, at the end of the day, this is the stories that our youth needs to hear. And you know what? This is that platform that we want to expose exactly what you're telling us. That we want to tell our youth and our people out there, and not even just youth. I think there's a lot of adults out there as well that need to hear this, that change can be made, and you are a classic example of exactly that, Ridwan. So as much as you hate us, we love this story at the end of the day, because this needs to be put out there to show everybody out there. And you know what, Ridwan, I mean, I've been sitting here listening to everything, and I'll be honest as well, when we started off and just reading everything about you, basically, it didn't tell us exactly what you're telling us right now, which for me is a much bigger story than what you had given us. And I feel more like I'm having to get more out of you, because it's exactly what people at this stage of our lives need to hear. That, you know what, no matter what your circumstances, that does not dictate your future. That doesn't tell you what will become of your future. You can make that change no matter what circumstance you are in right now. You know what? I'm looking at kids in Delft and Nova Park, Manenberg, that's in gangster areas, that's looking at the cases of things that's happening within the areas. And they're thinking, this is my life. I'm going to have babies. I'm going to be a gangster. You know what? But you showed us, and this is exactly what I need to put out there, is tell these youth, look at Ridwan.
Do you know what? I gotta, you know where I'm just listening to you. And to me, you sound like Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. You really do. You really do. And let me explain why I say that, because I think it is an excellent movie. It is really, definitely one of my all-time favorites, and it's an absolutely great movie. But there's one professor, just to kind of give you the scenario here, there's one professor ropes in another professor, who is Robin Williams, to deal with somebody who's a troubled youth, but absolutely genius. But in order to get through to this person, somebody that understands where this person comes from, the challenges that this person might be dealing with and struggling with, the student now struggling in their personal life. And I find myself looking at you at that way, because you are teaching currently at a high school. When children and learners are dealing with high school issues, teenage problems, then just what we all go through, regardless of your class or where you're coming from or what kind of school, just growing up, just that normal growing up thing. Then add into the mix the spice of coming from a disadvantaged community. Add the spikes in from social troubles and ilks around you, economic challenges. You add all of that in, the COVID stress. You add all of those spices in. All of a sudden, we're sitting with youth and learners that are ill-equipped to deal with that, because let alone a grown-up can't deal with that.
A grown-up can't.
Now there's a person like you who've really walked, and let me just call it what it is, the gravel road.
Oh, yeah.
That have walked a hard road, but have come out on the other side with colors and stars and things that is just amazing. How easy, in your opinion, because I am sure when you tell the learners, in this kind of field, you definitely give a lot of yourself. When you tell learners your story, how easy is it for them to open up to you?
First of all, it's not easy, not at all. Remember, the kids see this guy who studied, and they try to put the two together. And for them, it's like, how can you say you come from this, but yet again, you sorted. You got a job, you got a house, you got all of this, you've traveled. How is it possible? Because there's a huge gap, especially when you're in the midst of everything, poverty, etc. It's difficult for them. But the moment you start come to a platform where you can relate with them, then they open up. I promise you, I've dealt with kids on so many different levels. And there's one thing I don't do much as other teachers. I don't take everything personal, especially in the development phase of our youngsters. Remember, we can't determine that a youngster will end up in a certain destination. They have the choice to do so. So I always tell my youngsters, remember, nobody can determine. Even if I tell you, you can't. At the end of the day, you have the power of this decision. And I think my manuscript says it all. And this taught me as an individual that you need to make decisions, not for somebody else, but for yourself, especially where you're heading. And it's because sometimes you need to make a decision that is not always right for other people.
I got you. We got you. Because now, not only do you do this with youngsters, but also you dabble in the corporate sphere. Yes,
I have a corporate. I decided, you know what, let's take a turn in the whole corporate field. Remember, I was speaking out of a social development platform regarding youngsters, etc., all the youth development. It started off when I was in church. But then I decided, you know what, let's change the course. Let's go into the private sector. Let's go take a look. Remember, because in the government sector, sorry to say, nothing is sustainable. We always needed extra. We always, our people want. And there's nothing that can sustain them. And I think for me personally, I was looking at the method, how can we sustain rather than make sure that we give. and how can we sustain, how we can put measures in place in order to take projects to another level, in order to get funding and keep an eye on them to grow. And I think for me, that's the most important part, that we come to the party and make our communities more sustainable, especially in community development. I've come from social development, and I've seen we give too much rather to sustain. So that's just my personal opinion. Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm liking that, because this is something Dougal and myself constantly say on the show, that we can't wait on government to do things for our communities. We as the community need to do something for ourselves, because if we're going to wait for government, I mean, we're going to wait forever. Yeah. So, and change is not going to happen. And I do believe, and I agree with you, that you start hating the person that's standing with their hand out all the time and not doing things for themselves, because they constantly want. And for me, it's like a naughty child. If you're going to give the child all the time, they're going to expect all the time. So where they're supposed to be starting to do things for themselves, because we can't wait on government.
Yeah. Redwan, we're gonna touch base on there's some comments coming through, but also let me just recap so what we've been talking about. So we've spoken now about how ARP Transformation came about, a little bit about your background. I want to delve into all the different things that you do in ARP Transformation. How do you assist organizations, private sector, government, children, all these little bits that you do. And then I want to come back to where you see this is all going. So I want you to wrap your head just somewhere around that. And of course, because I'm telling you now, people will want to talk to you. And I'm just looking at the name of ARP Transformation, and I'm kind of going, are we voting for them today? Because that's what I want to do now. You've confused me hours before cross-making time. You've confused the hell out of me.
So if your name was there, I think we would have voted for you today.
Gladly, mate. Glad. Me and everybody I know. But let's quickly do a comment or two, because there's quite a bit there that we're going to do. So shall we do Facebook? Hubert Paul said a comment. Hubert, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're well. Hubert says the key to change is to let go of fear in business. Your success in life isn't based on your ability to simply change. It is based on your ability to change faster than your competition and customers. Ooh. Now, that is huge, and just keep that one side, and then add this. Our attitude toward life determines life's attitude towards us. So off the topic, remember today, your vote is precious. It is the most powerful non-violent tool we have in a democratic society, and we must use it. He goes on to say, our youth today, and some adults, if they can see it, they can be it. These stories are the ones. And there the screen has just changed. Thank you, Yugi. Oh, these stories are the ones that must be told at school level. Teach our kids that there's nothing wrong with failing on your way to success. And just hang on to that there for a moment. Because when you talk to people, and let's get into some of the stuff that you do motivational speaking, you do that whole life skills. I mean, half of this is based, because I listened to your story early from where you've got it. I'm thinking, you failing on a very good level, you failing proper. I mean, you know what I mean? And then
I do fail. I do fail. You can say that again. And then some.
Oops.
Yeah.
We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about failure. I think it brings something, especially with you. They don't want to hear that they're going to fail.
Yeah.
They want to hear that everything is going to be smooth sailing, and unfortunately, it's not. And failure is part of the package. I've learned this the hard way. Failure is part of the package. People are gonna slam doors in your face. Unfortunately.
Let's
people are gonna say no.
Redwan, just hold on. Yes, Rhoda.
Yes, because I know Dougal's gonna jump in, and I tapped Dougal quickly because I wanted to say something. You know what, Redwan, listening to you, and I'm finding this exactly is becoming also a big problem on schools, where they basically putting these kids as your top 10, your top 20, and now they're coming to the kids that's also not doing it well, and they're saying, okay, you're also getting an award, you're also getting an achievement, but in actual fact, it's almost like they're wanting to please everybody. But now you're basically creating that these kids, even though they're doing bad, they're wanting something. So where you should be told, you know what, you need to work a bit harder, you need to put a bit more
Yes.
effort in order to become, because not everybody can get a trophy at the
Yeah.
end of the day, because a
Yes.
trophy is really for somebody that's really earned it and worked hard for it.
Yes.
So now we're creating this culture where everybody gets a, there's like Oprah, you know,
Yes.
everybody gets
Everybody
a
gets.
trophy
Yeah.
under the chair.
Yes.
So where
And-
you need to work on this, and this is a culture I'm scared that's being created as well, where kids are being told it's fine. You know, failures is good, which is good, but also to the point that you need to also work. Like you've proven that I need to do something different to be able to become and achieve something and get my trophy as well.
And the Rhoda is true, what you just said now. For me personally, I don't think we want to talk about this stuff, especially because it doesn't feel lekker on the ear when we talk about failure.
Exactly.
And especially with youngsters. They living in this bubble. I always tell my kids, I'm honest with my kids. I don't lie to my kids. I always tell my kids that. That's the most important thing. I don't lie to you guys, but I'm gonna give you the reality. And sometimes when you go outside, it's not as easy as you think. And they think I've had it all. So you became this great guy. I didn't. I was standing in I can remember in 2004, was standing at the council, EGB, and the guy stood up and said, "You will never become something," in front of my mommy, and it was a poster, and I was like, "Yo."
It was the pastor?
Yeah, sorry to say, but it was on the ear. It wasn't good. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to hang myself. And
Are you being serious?
This is why, for me personally, I speak to the crutchmen. I think our youngsters need to understand that especially we as individuals, everything is not so hunky-dory as it looks. That doesn't mean that I drive the great car, that I haven't gone through some stuff. We all got issues, especially in this time. And I'm straight to the point with people, because why? It's tough out there. It's tough in our communities, especially our colored communities, where gangsterism and drugs, etc., plays a huge part in our kids' lives. And this is issues where we need to raise. I mean, and I'm not here today because this is why I don't put myself out there. I try to protect this that I have, because why it's so precious to me. Looking at a child's eye, looking at someone's eye, and see, wow, you've made a difference in someone's life. That's for me $1 million. That's why people don't like me for working so hard, but for me, this is just one thing that drives me, is to make a change and a difference. It's the main motto in my life. Yes. Yeah, I still hate you guys because you guys are taking me now through so many emotions. Wow.
You're gonna make us cry.
Listen, this is exactly what it is, because it is the emotive stories we got to hear, and understanding basically where you've come from. But we're coming back to what we've just said. So just sort of summarize it for us quickly. So you do motivational talking. You take really learners by the hand as well on sports, and then you do all of that for businesses as well. What exactly is it, the services that is offered at ARP?
Okay, so from 2010, I focused more on learning support. That's why learning support, academic-wise, and yet again sports. You get youngsters that can't balance the two out, academics and sports. That's why some kids think if they have a sporting background, they're gonna make it in life, etc. And they don't think on certain things to fall back on, especially academics. So academics, for me personally, it's important. The same with sports. So we need to find a way where youngsters can fall back on. So that's with the learning support. We work with learners with learning disabilities, learners who can't focus in a huge environment. But that was in the private sector. And then when I came to the I don't want to say government sector, but the government schools, I found out that our youngsters need more social help in terms of how to prepare for exams, how to see that their circumstances doesn't determine where they're heading. Some external support for them, workshops, etc. All of that life skills part. Get people on board, talk to them, guide them, etc. That is just on the learning support. And then I moved away to motivational speaking, where yet again speak in front of youngsters, people, offices, etc., businesses, you name it. And it grew from there. I think for me the most thing that stood out and made me where I am today is the learning support. Working with individualized youngsters, like youngsters that feel like they can't make it in life. They don't know if they're gonna make it in life. I think working at the whole social aspect, because we're social beings first and then academics. That's why with ARP Transformation, we first focus socially, psychologically, and last and not least academically, because academics comes afterwards. If a child is not socially inclined and psychologically inclined, sometimes they can't focus in academics. And we are sorry to say, but in our system, we focus on academics. You need to go to school. You need to do this. You need to do that. At the end of the day, when the child comes back, there's no food to eat. There's no daddy or mommy. That social aspect plays an important part in the youngsters' growth. So yet again, I try to collaborate these three parts, and especially on the learning support, motivational support. I try to bring that to the party. And the life skills as well. This is when we do workshops, etc. And another thing that I must say that stood out for the past 2 years during COVID was the soup kitchens. We supported the events. The events, we hosted several events in this past 3 years. So that will be amazing. We just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah. Listen, when do you see, I mean, when you speak to a business, to a corporate or anything like that, and you bring that perspective of these are the challenges of the youth, because businesses sometimes don't understand that. Businesses don't realize that the youth is their future customer. That's their customer of tomorrow.
Yes.
And once and when you bring those things out to them, do they kind of go, oh, wait a minute, we need to be more involved? Also, it gives you a hell of a way to sort of view the world of today when you hear these stories. Do you find that there is a lot of that there's that sort of crossover moments, but that before you get the crossover moment, that everything is a bit separate, and then eventually people go, oh, wait a minute. But it takes people like you to explain that story.
You're touching on a vital thing. I did this in 2019. That's a sore thing in the mouth, because a sour thing in the mouth, because our businesses don't want to tick on that. They don't want to see that the youngsters is there. Actually, this is their future. I did a event, Voice of African Women, whereby we get 35 young ladies from the ages of 18 to 35, and then we get the older ladies. Yes, your 55s, your 60s, etc. We brought them together, and we had a discussion on how we perceive the world from different point of views. Yes, we want the same thing, but yet again, the old people see the youngsters like, no, you don't know what life is all about. And the youngsters see that, I don't know, that they have one thing in common. And at the end of the day, I think if we can come back to that level whereby we bring the two worlds together. And this is one thing I see a lot of businesses want this. You need to have experience, think 20 an hour. Youngsters there with ideas, and you don't have that experience. And how do you give them the platform? And they don't want to take the risk yet again. And I think that gap will always be there if we don't come together, if we don't give the platform for youngsters to make a mistake, for youngsters. Because I promise you, the moment I've seen this in my own life, you're young, you're done with it. And that's why I love my ex-principal. She gave me the platform to make mistakes, and I made it. I've cried, and she looked at me. She said, if you can't take this, then don't do it, because this is going to be part of the process. And I think for me, yet again, I perceived things out of a total different way, psychologically, and it worked for me. So yeah, I think that will always be there, where businesses, especially, they're looking for a certain, they don't want to groom, but they're looking for a certain skill. And unfortunately, sometimes you get the skill, but socially or psychologically, you don't get out of the person. So yeah, that's really a thing to talk about. Like I'm saying, guys, we don't want to talk about these issues. We don't want to lay it on the table, because this is issues that is really not linked to the ear. We don't want to hear this, because it changed our character through the process. And yeah, this is just like I said, my field today.
Listen, let me just tell you this, and this is a personal observation, and I think a lot of people in the vulnerable side of our communities do this. We're very quick to judge. Like, there's a certain way that leaders in the community must behave. They must speak and sound a certain way, drive and live in certain areas. They must have a certain vocabulary and spell correctly and all of that. Damn with that. It is people with life experience. It is people with their lived experience. If it was bad, they want to make sure that it doesn't happen to anybody else. That is the essence of a leader. That is how we do transformation. And to me, from where I'm sitting, that is what you are doing.
That's what you are
So,
doing.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm asking you again, why am I not voting for you today?
No.
No, Rhoda's going to touch on some comments here quickly.
That's right. So we've got a comment here on Facebook. Welcome, Jabbar Kasim Mohammed. So he's from the DEFSA and he's asking very interesting topic. How can learners who are deaf or disabled express and communicate with you? Because I know that teachers cannot guide them. Would you encourage and educate them? Oh my word. Provide accessibility like SASL interpreter. Understanding different disability methods of needs as many personal view. Many needs to understand social development, especially in our country. So I think obviously where you've come from as well, Ridwan, you've worked at Jan Kriel. So
yes.
Yeah, so obviously they just listening to Jabbar, you've obviously got some experience in that as well.
Yes, I've worked there for 10 years. They don't work specifically with deaf people, but there is people with ek hou van die Afrikaanse woord cognitieve implantings. So their hearing is like 50%, etc.
Yeah.
But with Jan Kriel, it's just one school they have the resources. They have the elements that help kids. I promise you, the kids are doing the same subjects that any other kid is doing at other schools. They're not a special school as we think they are, like, they can't read. Yes, they can't read, they can't do this, but they have resources in order to assist them.
Okay.
And that's what makes the child grow more and more. If you look at other schools, they don't have that psychologist and all of this, how can I put it, technology in order to advance the learner to another grade or another system. But yeah, that's another thing we can talk about. But I hear what the common is, and for me personally, it's another one that we lacking, and especially with deaf people. How do they communicate? How do they fit in society at the end of the day? Because we look at them as disabled.
Yeah.
But what does it make me? I told my kids the other day, I can't swim. To be honest, I can't swim. And they're like, oh, so you got a degree and you can't swim? And they laugh. But they don't see that I fall short. It's something in my life. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
And kids sometimes want to see that. So, and I think if we start to come to the point whereby, like you said, stop judging.
Yeah.
And start looking deeper into the situation. I think we will really understand each other so much better.
I think you look forward to summer then with your swimming capabilities. But listen, you know what? I love all of that because your vulnerability, the flaws, if I could call it that, and please forgive me for saying that. It's there. It's there.
It's there.
There's no makeup. The cracks are there for people to see. And listening to your story, I'm glad I see the cracks because it is important to see the cracks. Because I got to be honest with you. I say this from my own. This is whenever I was, and I said this in the beginning. There's always people trying to motivate us. Always trying, do this. Yes, jump and look at yourself in the mirror. Say you quiet. I know I'm quiet. I don't need to keep saying that. The point is, I need to hear stories. I need to hear hero stories. This is what we want. We applaud, we jump up, we cheer when we see hero stories. I am sorry for the stuff that you had to endure as a young man. I'm sorry because indirectly I feel I played a part in it. And I played a part because I sat with my hands in my pocket. But that was the old me. The problem is there's so many of that old me still around. Now I hear your story, which is a hero story. Make no two ways about it. And you got to go thank that principal and the teachers that pushed you to do this.
Oh, yeah.
when I hear all of this, and maybe the brick throwing thing was the catalyst in all of this.
Yeah, was that? Yes, true.
You know, that you had it to be expelled. When I hear these stories with all these challenges and these cracks, these are the hero stories that drives us forward.
That's so true.
The fact that you've taken up this baton and run with it and just trying to change people's life and go, listen, man, you think this is bad. Let me just tell you, and this is how I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that is
so
outstanding. It really, really is outstanding. And I want to add to
I was
that
gonna
because
say
Jabbar
Jabbar
has just
made
added
a
this comment,
brilliant
which is
comment.
actually what I wanted to say as well.
Yeah.
Jabbar goes, and Jabbar, thank you for saying this. Thank you, really. Jabbar says, I think you need to do more motivational speaking in schools all over because people need to hear this. Listen, I'm telling you right now, this is the stories we need.
Oh, yes.
I'm tired of not, because we can all identify with a story.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you
Yes.
would, if your background is not from any sort of vulnerable community, you throw a stone anywhere, you're gonna know somebody. So there we all have a conversation. Let's be honest, we're all a developing
Oh, yeah.
society.
And then
Society.
we've got the comment from Hubert as well. Steve Moraboli said, incredible changes happens in your life when you decide to take control of what you do, have power over instead of craving control over what you don't.
Yeah.
Well done.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow,
beautiful words,
wow.
Hubert.
It's wow.
Write it down. Maybe you heard it here.
You heard it here.
It's deep. It's deep. It's deep.
Listen, Red One,
Wow.
how do people get in touch with you? Because people need to have you on speed dial.
Oh, most definitely.
How do people get in touch with you? Organizations, individuals, any social organization that deals with anything. People want to get you in as a motivational speaker, want to make use of your services. How do people get in touch with you?
Yeah. Yes. First of all, you can go to, like I said, I don't do websites, etc. I don't do it, but just last week, I was called in, and someone told me, "Guy, you need to stop this, not putting it out there. It's time to put it out there." Yeah, they can take my numbers 082-583-9269, and then you can take it from there, or email me at arptransformation@gmail.com. Yes,
And we've got those details on the screen as well. And I just want to stress it because we were going to do it at the end as well. arptransformation@gmail.com. Listen, I got to ask you this, and maybe keep the details a little lurky here. But when you look at the last decade plus or so, and you've definitely touched the lives of so many people, you've done amazing things. Success stories. Is there anything that you could share with us, and just for the, that you could sort of highlight to us, and obviously keep some of the details close to your own chest. But is there anything?
I don't wanna,
without disclosing too much.
No names.
Yeah, there's a lot of success stories that I can touch on, but there's one that shook my whole world. It was called. This guy was called Reinhard. He's called Reinhard Lambrecht. He was a grade 11 learner. So he hated his father big time, and he prayed. This one evening, he prayed and said that he wished his father was dead. And the next day, father died.
Sure.
So he went into a mental state where he didn't want to live anymore. And then my ex-principal, Mrs. Falson, she asked me, "Don't you want to work with this boy?" I was like, "He don't talk, he don't show any emotion." And like I said, he was in a clinic, mental clinic. So I started working with this boy. We play games. I tried to get on a social level with him, and then we started talking, started opening up, and then one psychologist said a thing that I will never forget. She said, "This boy will never grow into something. That his mental state is from such a strain that he's not going to be socially inclined to talk to people or because of what had happened." And I'm like, I disagree with you. And I told his mother, I will never forget it, don't sign the documents to take him out of school, put him in some private school. And again, it was a tough decision for her and for myself, because what if I'm wrong? And then started working with this boy. Today, he's in Dubai. Long story short, today he's in Dubai. He passed matric, got married. And I promise you, that was for me the most incredible
Sure.
Experience, because why I've realized it again in my own life. When I walked home and someone asked me before I went to go hang myself, what if you don't do it? You want to do it, but what if you don't do it?
Sure.
Do you see that story? Do you see that way forward? And with Reinhard, I mean, we became close. And then kids started coming. I can mention names from all over. It just grew. And for me personally, when you look at these stories, you get goosebumps, because why?
For sure.
Redwan?
It's always like this. Yeah, this is why we do things. And I don't want to. This is why I didn't expect this to happen today. Really, I didn't. I didn't foresee. I didn't want to even. For me, it's like that's why I say I hate you guys, because you guys are really taking me through something that I haven't done a while now. So yet again, yes, like I said, there's just one, and there's many more to tell. But at the end of the day, I don't think we know as individuals the impact we have on people's lives.
Oh yeah.
Now, negative or positive, we have so much to give, so much to deliver in. Yeah, that's why I love what I'm doing. That's the most important part. I love what I'm doing, and yeah, this is just me in a nutshell. Yes.
Listen, mate.
Wow.
All I can say to you, all I can say to you is the name's already there. ARP Transformation.
There
It sounds
go.
like a movement, but it's definitely a movement we all got to hop on. So next time we would hope to definitely expect to see your name on some sort of ballot, keeping with the general theme of today. But sir, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh yeah.
It has been an honor, a privilege, all those things,
definitely.
talking to you. And I can tell you something right now. We're going to have a discussion with the producer. We're going to have to talk to you again.
Again, definitely.
No.
Because we've scratched. We haven't even... I've
Yeah,
got,
you
I've got two
opened up
papers
another
of things I
can
want to ask you. I didn't even do it.
We didn't do it.
This is why I said I hate you guys, because I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting this.
Oh.
I told myself, oh my word, where is this going? Where is this going?
Oh, the bag of tricks is big, sir. But Redwan, listen. Love you. Love the stuff that you do.
Definitely.
I love you guys.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much for being with us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, please.
And keep doing what you do.
Keep on doing what
Yes,
you're doing.
thank you so much.
Don't forget to go and vote.
I tell you what.
Yes.
I tell you what, Rhoda. I mean,
Wow.
I've spoken to, you know what, not just doing this show, but also on other stuff that we do. And if you're watching this, I'm going to be very frank with you. I've shaken hands with what I consider really great people.
Oh yeah.
I've been in the presence of outstanding people. Redwan is one, he's there.
Oh, yeah.
And he's leading the pack.
He's leading it.
And I like the whole thing because this is somebody, and he's a young man.
Oh, yeah,
This is a
he's so
young
young.
man. He should be calling me daddy. This is a young man. And I apologize that he has gone through a tough time. Can you imagine? Take yourself back to when you are a youthful person. You in high school. You take a brick and you teach it. You have thoughts of hanging yourself.
Oh yeah. All familiar.
Your social structure in terms of having decent shelter, food, security, role models, that's non-existent. Are we talking absolute terms? The only thing beneath you is death.
Oh yeah.
Because you're considering this as an option. This is where he was.
Yeah.
Something flicked and he changed it. And we never asked him this and he never said it. But what he wanted to do is go, wait a minute, if I'm not going to go down without a fight, if that's my destiny, so be it. But let me see if I can just help another. One person, just to have the
One.
conversation
Yeah.
going was enough. This triggered a movement.
Definitely.
Brings me to the point, why are we not voting for this man today? This is what we, you know what, get rid of all sort of tags and whatever it is. This is what you need.
This is what we need.
This is the story. This is the emotion. That's the reality. And again, apologies, because I hear his story. I was born in that town. I know everybody in that town. I come from very similar backgrounds, as we all do. And I've got to apologize because I hear those stories and I was blinded to it. You know, because it wasn't in your face.
It wasn't in
but
your
it's
face.
there.
It's there.
And the point is, we've got to apologize because we did nothing. And when we speak of privilege, and I know people are going to go, there they go, this is it. If you're blinded to it, it is part of privilege. It's that secondary level of privilege. The hell with that. Come now. And if you don't see it, if you go, just don't even listen anymore. Stop making assumptions and suggestions to people that want to make change. Keep quiet, sit in the corner. Ridwan, I salute you. I expect to vote for you soon.
Definitely.
Wow. Emotional story indeed, and we got to get him back. All we can say is thank you so much for watching. You definitely got to get in touch with ARP Transformation, of course. Very easy. You can email arptransformation@gmail.com. Definitely get in touch with Ridwan and invite him to your organization, to your business. This is the kind of story you want to hear. But the positivity and the effect that goes speaks volumes, of course, because it definitely tells you, regardless of your tools, you can definitely fight and walk the road and make the change that you want. And that is exactly what he's been doing. We wish you the best, Rhoda. It's been an emotional one today.
It was very emotional. And Jabaz even said the very beautiful and touchable session. Thank you. Keep it up. We definitely will try our best, Jabbar. And we always bring you the good stories and the bad. But all together, all good and bad.
So, you got to like and share this, and also join us right after this program. In a few minutes, we're going to be back because we're entering that festive season, and we need your help. We're going to continue making positive change, and we will tell you with our next episode shortly. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all the questions and comments that came through, and once again, thank you to Ridwan Aris from ARP Transformation that joined us today. It's been a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day.
So far.
Yeah.
It's getting better.
Go get your coffee, get your biscuits, and we see you now at 10.
See you then. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Hello, good morning. Thank
morning,
you
good morning.
very much for being with us. Mahala Monday, 1st of November.
That's right. Yeah, welcome back. And we actually had a show before this, so now I hope you got your coffee and your biscuits, like I said in the previous show, and come and listen to what we have to tell you today.
Yeah, you certainly have to. But I want to say this again, 1st of November.
Oh, yes.
What does that mean? Firstly, it means like there's no more October.
There's no more October. And today is voting day. So you need to go and vote.
Yeah, it certainly is. You got to go and make the cross. But 1st of November, because once it gets, for me personally, and and this is what we're going to talk about today, because it is the time of the year where we find ourselves, what lies ahead, considering the circumstances we are in. But once it gets to November, I immediately go, and not when I was young, but right now, as an adult, listen, I call myself an adult. Well done, finally. But the point is, you see it everywhere, Christmas trimmings. Have you noticed?
Oh, Dougal,
Have you
why
noticed?
did you have to do that now? You actually gave me a realization now. We're closer to December, closer to Christmas. Ooh.
Yeah, 1st of November. So
Stress,
yeah, it's happening.
stress,
TikTok.
stress. Ah.
If I was half the man I think I was, I would have given you so many days, hours, seconds. I would have done that, but I can't. But I'm sure somebody will figure that out. But the point is, it's 1st of November. The festive season
He's upon us.
is here.
Oh,
It's maybe not. It's definitely at your gate, at the doorstep, walking towards your house. It's definitely there. It is here, Oda.
Oh, definitely. And you know what? It is the time for giving. And
It
you know,
certainly
that's
is.
exactly it. And I think, you know what's been happening with COVID and everything? I think it's such a good time right now to get everybody's spirits going, uplifted, and you know what? Put back into our community.
Yeah, we certainly have to. And as you know, this is what we at Mahala Monday is all about. But also, you as the viewership, because you know how wonderful you are, how compassionate you are, and just absolutely how positive you are. And we got to plea towards that nature of you once again, because we want you to do this as well, as we're going to do it as well. So we've had we're in a pandemic time, and 2021 has by no means been easy. In fact, the 12 months preceding this was also not very easy. We all know that. But there's lots of people that are vulnerable around us, and you can just look anywhere. So we want blessings. We want us together to make a difference. So what we've decided to do is, let's do something very easy. And when I say very easy, we can all do this. And it was a funny thing. I must tell you that. So somebody came knocking at the door once, not so long ago, and asked for a little bit of food. Now, here's the catch: we just arrived home, so there was like no ready food to give. Yeah, maybe half a bread or something. And we said like, this is like no, leftover food or anything like that. The person goes, no, I don't want food like that. I just want like a can of baked beans or something. I'm sure you got. And I was like, yeah, actually. I said, you obviously got a. He says, yeah, it's where we are. We're on the streets. We got a thing. Just want a can of baked beans. Very specific question, and I didn't think much of it at the time, but later on we started talking about it. This is a way for us to do something. But I know when it comes to your generosity that's watching this right now, that's absolutely boundless. But what we would like you to do is do that, non-perishables. Whether it's in your household, at your school, at your work, your business, your organization, wherever you are. Bring a bag of rice, lentils, a can of baked beans, non-perishables. And just put it out there. If you've got an office of 20, everybody brings something. That's 20 things.
Yeah.
20
Can
things.
make a difference.
And distribute it to somebody or people in need of your choice. So you don't bring it here. Take a photo.
Oh, yes, please.
Of what you've done.
Yeah.
And let's celebrate it.
Let's celebrate it. Yeah.
And let's give that to an organization. Identify somebody where you are. Don't look at where you are not. Look at where you are. And when I say this, let's be very honest. Ask your neighbor. Don't be scum. They might not have baked beans.
That's so true. You never know. Your neighbor may be hungry. Yeah.
The time for us to work together is not now. It has had been for too long.
Too long.
That bus is so far away, but there's still a time for you to get on the bus. And the thing is, the parameters of people that need help has shifted.
It's shifted drastically.
Not because of social structures, but just COVID alone. It has shifted.
Oh, yeah.
The rules that we normally gave with, the rules that we normally took people by the hand, no longer apply, Rhoda.
Doesn't apply.
It has shifted.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, do that. And that's something easy. Let's make a difference for this festive.
For the festive season, man, let's do something different. And you know what, Dougal, I've spoken to so many people, that says, you know what, I want to. I'm so scared to go into these communities. I'm scared to do this. And this is single individuals also necessarily that had stated that they can, but they don't know how. If you're not 100% sure, or you're wanting some information, or you want some advice, you can even contact us at For Humanity, info@forhumanity.org.za, and we'll be able to assist you. And if we're wanting to, we can always collaborate at the end of the day. And we'll come take photos, and you know what, we'll showcase it exactly that. And you know what, even if you don't want to showcase it, just a mere fact that if you're not 100% sure, contact us. And you know what, like Dougal said, if there's companies, corporates, take a photo, send it to us, email it to us, and then we'll be able to showcase it even here on our show, to be able to show exactly, you know what, we as South Africa can then automatically, as South Africans say, we can make a difference, because you know what, your neighbor might be hungry right now. You know?
And exactly to what you said. So what we'll do on Mahala Monday, every Monday, we'll dedicate a little portion of the show, and we will showcase that and then talk about it as well. But let's, for this festive season and at least kicking off 2022, guys, let's make a big difference. Let's make a difference. And once again, because you see this everywhere. But make that conscious decision. I'm talking a bag of rice, a non-perishable.
Yes.
And I say can of baked beans as an example here. But whatever it is, a tuna, sardines, bullshit, whatever. Whatever it is, lentils or something, a soup mix, a rice, anything, a non-perishable. If you have just one thing, get a couple of people and say, listen, guys, let's just do this, and have a box of this. And definitely make a difference. Now, and once again, if you're a business of 20 people, any organization, all the organizations, we challenge you right now. Tertiary institutions, we challenge you now. Put 5 boxes out, because we're going to fill up in 2 days. 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're going to have 10 boxes.
Oh, yeah.
But you identify the beneficiary. And this is the most important thing, because I think that conversation needs to happen. And to what you said as well, because I know, and it's what you say, people say, like, look, we want to help, we want to go into a vulnerable community, which is not, we're on the other side of the road, or whatever the reason is. But we don't want to, because let's say we're scared of safety or whatever, you have some sort of fear factor. That is understandable. And that is normal.
It's very normal.
And have that discussion. But together, if we collaborate, we can make it happen. If you want to go somewhere, collaborate, work together. This is, it comes down to a very simple thing. It comes down to a very simple thing where you ask for help, even on something as straightforward as that is. Have you ever been lost and there's no signal, no GPS? You gotta ask the person that you see. Now imagine that person you don't speak the same language. And this is it.
And you know what? At the end of the day, we're all human. We all basically. You're out there. I can tell you. I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm feeling a bit hungry. Now imagine you yourself at certain stages in your life had felt hungry, hopeless. You know that things is not looking good right now, and you're not 100% sure. And I really feel for the parents out there as well that want to make a difference for the kids at the end of the year. And you know what? Christmas is always a time of us all sitting and the meals is on the table and everybody's jolly and everybody's happy. Guys, the reality is that our unemployment rate is so high and there is so many people that is going hungry right now that tin of baked beans will make one massive difference at the end of the day. So you know what? Let's collaborate. Let us as South Africans come together and say, let's make a difference for the next family, because I can't see how we can sit on a table with a fully plated food, different meals, chicken and turkey and gammon and you name it, and there's people that's going hungry out there on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Let's make that difference. Let us collect at your work. Start something. If you that one person that's sitting right now looking at this and you looking at your colleagues, tell them, guys, let's do this. Let's take a photo. Let's send it to For Humanity, and let's make a difference in one family's life. I mean,
As simple as that. And it's just a small little act of kindness. So exactly to what Rhoda said. So to the schools in the area, I am sure the schools in your area, wherever you are, teachers watching this, everybody, maybe do that. There might be a vulnerable household that is at your school in some sort of way. And this goes a long way. Let's all do this at our work, at tertiary institutions, whatever college, university you are at. Let's do this. Let's absolutely do this. Then basically what you do is you take a photo of that, send it to us, and we're going to dedicate a portion of the show to that. So if you are tertiary education, and we've had lots of tertiary education institutions here, you know who you are. We've seen you. You've been here on the show. So you can go check out the link. I don't want to mention them.
No, we don't want to mention them.
Okay. Yeah. But then you go check out
who you are.
episodes here. So all of you, we challenge you, all of them. So what we got to do is we got to collect some items, and then we share that. But you decide. You decide where you share it, but make a difference. But take a picture of what you've collected, and let's be honest, whether you've collected a truckload of baked beans or something, or there's 2 cans, that's brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant.
Even if it's 1 plastic bag.
Collect something and identify somebody. And there's various reasons we say this. And I want you just to take it from this perspective. Once you do something, you kind of have a sense to go and check up again on it. You go, I gave something here, I just want to see what happened.
So true.
And it keeps your finger on the pulse. Now, I'm not saying it's all about donating, it's the donating, but it's having that conversation. But the time for giving is here, we know this. People are going hungry. It's COVID. The parameters don't exist. The normal rules are gone. These rules are your nightmares. Petrol's going up in a day. The normal rules don't apply. Make a collection, donate it. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And guys, remember, we're just not talking about Cape Town. We're talking Johannesburg, Pretoria, Limpopo, you name it. We're talking South Africa. Yeah. So send those pictures to us. You know what? Wherever you are and you're going to basically do this and you're wanting to have a little bit of showing, we'll do it for you. We'll have a little bit of time on the show. We'll be able to send your photos and talk about, what you have done. So we're talking broad. We're not just talking Cape Town. We're not just talking Johannesburg. We're talking about South Africa.
Make that difference, please, and definitely do that within your own sector and send those pictures to us. Now, what you will do is you will mail those photos to us to info@forhumanity.
Right, at forhumanity.org.za.
And we will definitely feature it on the Mahala show, and the contact details are there, info@forhumanity.org.za. Now, what we're going to tell you next is brilliant, because Mahala Monday, as you know, is an amazing platform.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to invite you to do this with us, because the For Humanity project has got the very fiber and essence of well-being socially at heart, and have been doing amazing work. And going into the new year, of course, there's some seriously amazing work that needs to be done. And when I say amazing work, because the people behind this are absolutely extraordinary, but unfortunately it is not one of those things that cannot go without your help. So this is the challenge, and this is the plea. We at Mahala Monday will feature your business, your organization on the show, as we have done. What we ask that you do is donate 1,000 Rand to For Humanity, so they are able to continue with their amazing work. And once again, for this, you email info@forhumanity.org.za. forhumanity.org.za. 1,000 Rand you donate to the For Humanity project organization, and we will feature you in turn. So once again, we collaborate, aren't we?
Oh, we're collaborating, definitely. So we're giving you some time on air, basically, to do exactly what we've done for the previous show as well, to be able to showcase your company, what you are doing out there. And if it comes down to telling us about your business and also your community work, you know what, let's showcase you on the show. And you know what, give you a bit of a brag session there. And just remember, the 1,000 Rand gets used for the community out there. It gets plugged back into the community. And this is what we're wanting to do at For Humanity as well, is take that and, you know, showcase and show exactly what we're doing out there and what we're giving out to the communities as well.
So one of the things I can definitely tell you, and there's various projects that For Humanity will be involved in the exceptionally near future, like now, right now.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things I can mention to you is the sanitary towel drive for young girls at you know, in vulnerable circumstances, and that is definitely something we've got to get into, because we cannot start off the year and have these kind of hurdles for people that are trying to improve their lives. We cannot have these kind of hurdles, but we definitely need your 1,000 Rand towards that. So it's very simple. You get to talk to Rhoda, which is fantastic, right? You get this show, Mahala Monday, your business on this, fantastic, on various social media platforms. 1,000 Rand. Donate that to the For Humanity project. It's that simple. Email them right now, info@forhumanity.org.za.
Yeah. And especially all those marketing people out there with these companies, you know how much it costs at the end of the day to get your name out there. You know what? Here's a platform. We're asking you for 1,000 Rand to basically contribute. And you know what? It's for a good cause.
Yeah. So, and this is the other thing I wanted to say. You just said now, because people know what it costs. If you want to give more, it's fine, man.
That's fine.
Maybe you'll make your show longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But 1,000 Rand. that is it.
Most definitely.
It's all we ask. 1,000 Rand. In fact, you could do 2,000 or 3,000. You saw about 3 episodes.
Choice.
There's 3 episodes.
Yeah.
We'll go as far as that. But 1,000 Rand, please. That's all you got to do. You donate 1,000 Rand to the For Humanity project. You email them forhumanity.org.za at info, of course, info at forhumanity.org.za. There we go.
Yeah.
You email them. I'll give you the details. We'll then be in touch.
Oh, yeah.
And we have the show.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Isn't this brilliant? I think this is that's not even a good deal. I think you're winning.
This is a win-win.
Because that 1,000 Rand will go a long way.
Long way.
Definitely will go a long way. It's one of those ways for us to collaborate.
I see there's some comments there. Hubert.
What is Hubert saying? Hubert is saying, keeping an ear open for the first Boney M songs blaring. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life
by what we give.
By what we give.
So true.
Sure.
Hey,
Sure.
He's loving the challenge.
We make a life by what we give.
Give.
And yeah, I think that kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
But Hubert is also saying, I absolutely love the challenge. We have to learn to light the candle in the darkest moment. Challenge accepted, and thank you guys. Woo, woo.
Here we go. There
challenge
we go.
accepted.
And like we said, what we got to do is, course, and make Black Friday about giving. So you know what, Black Friday, you're gonna get a little extra thing or two. You know, you see, you can't. Yeah, it's coming, Black Friday, and make it Happy Friday. So it's coming. You can buy. Do that. Fill the trolley. 2 trolleys.
That's right.
That's what you got to do. But certainly, let's make a difference. So let's just recap. This is what we've asked you to do. Wherever you are, in your organization, school, institution, at your home, between your friends, amongst family, gather some non-perishables. Identify within your own immediate community vulnerable sectors that you would like to support. So whether you give it to a household, an individual, or organization, definitely do that, but make it, and especially when you do it, if you're a parent like me, get your kids involved as well. Let them also really get them involved in all of this and make the difference. But whatever you give, take a little photo. You don't have to be in it, because I know sometimes people, but we're going to feature some of this on the segments, and I will try and take my own pictures and have them here. It's not going to be as, sometimes there's a finger in front of but we'll have those finger ones too. And we'll do that, and then we put it through. But that's what it is, and it's all about just showcasing how we stand together. And then, of course, you donate 1,000 Rand to the For Humanity project, and we will feature you right here on Mahala Monday. Email info@forhumanity.co.za.
I see we got another comment there, Dougal.
Serious Santa Shoebox, hello. They say, we accept your challenge too. We will work with Hubert and Brett. Love it.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. There you go. There you go. There you go. And the Serious Santa Shoebox, they do amazing things too.
They do amazing things too.
Yeah, we got to join them.
Especially with the elderly, you know.
Wow. I mean, we do so many people doing amazing things. And you know what? Send those photos to us as well.
Yes,
Send, please. If you know what? And if you're doing anything.
If you're doing anything
Amazing, just send it to us at info@forhumanity. And let's showcase. Let's
showcase
put it out
South
there.
Africa at the end of the day, and all of us standing together as one.
And nobody's going to take a brag on what you're doing. It's not the point.
No, it's not.
The point is starting that conversation. The more of us are one, and it becomes a topical thing, a fashionable thing. When people talk about it, the momentum gains traction. Now, the problem we've had for too long is only 2 people are going one side and the rest of them go, man, we need to go here. When we all go here, it goes quick. Done. Anyway, 1,000 Rand, we show you on the show.
Oh, yeah.
Baked beans and everything. Take photos, send info@forhumanity.co.za. Peace.
Keep well, guys. And don't forget,
go
make your cross.
Yeah. Go do that. Like and share this, please. Send it to everybody on your social network. Also, the people you don't like, send it to them.
Share.
Bye.
See you, bye.